Let's see. Here, here, here. Oh. Heya, Duke of Limbs here, and I'm here to, Heya, Duke of Limbs here, and today I'm going to give you some things to think about before moving to Japan. A lot of people dream to visit or live here in Japan, but you need to have a game plan before going on this big adventure. My huge dream was always to live here, but I had a lot of things that were holding me back, and I always told myself I wasn't ready. Eventually, I was able to put myself in a mindset that allowed me to hop on a plane and fly over to Japan permanently. So let me tell you what I thought about before I made the big move. Okay, let's get the obvious out of the way. You first need a passport. If you don't have one of these, you can't leave the country, obviously. Now, it does cost a little bit of money, but it's definitely worth it to travel around the world and especially live in Japan. So what are you waiting for? Get it! Now, it really helps to immerse yourself in the culture of Japan, so you may want to visit first before you move here, so you can get a rundown of all of the things that are important here in Japan to learn. I've traveled to Japan on 4 separate occasions. Yes, I'm obsessed. Shut up! But visiting here will give you a perspective on whether or not moving to Japan is the right choice for you. So visit right now. Passport first. Now, whether or not you visited Japan, be prepared for a culture shock. Visiting helps lower it, but not completely. I thought I was ready for the culture shock. I prepared myself for it, but once I landed in Japan to live there, lo and behold, I was in for the shock of my life. There was pollen season, rainy season, a lot of bugs that I was not comfortable with, and a lot of people were avoiding me and I did not know why. Later on, I realized that they're just nervous. So to get a good head start on your life here in Japan, just get to know the country a little bit more intimately. So, how's your Japanese? Mine is crap. If you're going to be an ALT like me, it might not matter, but any other job, you might want to get a firm grasp of the language, because you still gotta work. There are various ways you can learn Japanese. For me, I started with Pimsleur and then I went to Rosetta Stone, but eventually landed on Rocket Japanese. And that website has ways you can learn how to write, read, and speak Japanese. It's a little expensive, but it does work for me. I don't know if it will work for you. Many other methods are out there, but try to get some Japanese going before you move here. Here's a weird question. How detached are you? And by that I mean, do you have a girlfriend? Do you have a boyfriend? Do you have kids? Do you have pets? Do you have a car? Those are the things you might want to look at before moving here. It could be more difficult than expected. It was almost easy for me to detach myself from living in New York. I didn't have any pets or kids or a relationship. There are other things to consider as well. If you have a house or an apartment, how do you leave from that or break the lease? Also, your job. How do you leave that gracefully and then enter in a new job in Japan? A lot of things to consider, especially kids, a relationship, or pets, because they're coming too. Another thing that you have to consider are sacrifices. No, I do not mean killing anyone. Please don't. And I don't mean leaving your significant other or kids or pets behind. How dare you? You might have a lot of stuff that you really can't bring to Japan with you unless you're willing to pay the shipping, which is astronomical. Trust me. I had a TV, a queen-size bed, kitchen appliances, an air fryer. I miss that air fryer. I wish I can get that back. Maybe I should call my mom. A couch, computers, and other big items that I knew I had to leave behind. You're basically moving to Japan starting fresh, so you want to be as lightweight as possible. Less items, less stress, easier move. Speaking of selling your items, you also need to save. Don't just quit and decide to move here. It's not gonna work. Save up money, sell your stuff, because flying here, first of all, is not cheap. Moving into a new apartment isn't cheap either. There are things like key money, deposit money, and money to the realtor, etc., etc. Rent is surprisingly cheap in the countryside. Still, save up. I saved about $5,000 to $6,000 before moving here, and it really smoothed out the process of moving to Japan. So, once again, save. Well, speaking of jobs, start applying for jobs in Japan. Like now. Some companies might be able to do remote interviews with you via Skype or Zoom. Does anybody still use Skype? Just prepare to do it late at night because they're doing it on their time, Japan Standard Time. I did my interview at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and I was wearing a suit, shirt, and pajamas. They couldn't see it. Maybe. Maybe? To make your move a little bit easier, you might want to find jobs that will help sponsor your visa when moving here to Japan. Okay, I love Tokyo. I really love Tokyo. It was the first place that I visited here in Japan back in 2011. But let's be clear, Tokyo is not all of Japan. So you need to prepare to live anywhere here in Japan, especially as an ALT. I live in the countryside. It's different from the city, but it's still exciting and I still have a great time and it's a great experience. For example, here in Tochigi, this prefecture has a lot to offer from culture to fresh food, mountains, nature, you name it. So be open to living anywhere here. You might find that there's more to love about this country. Now for me, fear was the biggest challenge before moving to Japan. It's a big challenge when you have to leave everything you're familiar with behind and starting from scratch. Sometimes you just have to take the leap. When I finally got the opportunity to work abroad, I could have said no and said that now was not the right time. But my bigger fear was asking myself, what if I decided not to take the job? So having said that, if there's an opportunity to move to Japan, definitely take it. Do not ask yourself, what if later in life? Take the chances and take the leap. Don't let fear drive you away from something that you want. So what burning questions do you have about living here in Japan? Please comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. And please hit that bell so you know when I put out another video. Okay, that's all for today. Good luck out there. See you.